Are world-renowned and many are produced in the Western Cape, the home of winemaking in the country. Our Morning Live producer was invited to Franschhoek by the Franschhoek Tourism Association to showcase the town as a leading food and wine destination. This is part one about tourism in Franschhoek.
Franschhoek in the Western Cape is synonymous with the French heritage in South Africa. If there's anything the French are famous for, it's wine and cuisine. The French Huguenots came to this area following the revocation of the Treaty of Nantes in 1685. The Huguenots were Protestant Christians persecuted by King Louis XIV in a majority Catholic country. Fast forward to modern times and the tourists flock to the Cape Winelands for its many offerings.
Certainly, wine tourism here has helped contribute to us reaching the 10 million passenger mark this year at Cape Town International. It's the first time ever that we're breaking that mark. On an average wine trip, 70% of visitors are spending R1,000 each. That really adds up, so it's a hugely important niche for us.
The chairman of Franschhoek Tourism spoke to us at La Motte Wine Estate, where he's the CEO. He says developing tourism skills is key to enriching the area.
From the wineries in this valley, we have just over 50 wineries. We have 53 restaurants. And then on accommodation, we can offer about 104 places. Because of the businesses that we create, we need people. We need to employ more people. We need to employ chefs. We need to employ winemakers. But not only those two jobs. We need to employ staff that even cleaning staff. And I think one of the things that we really focus in Franschhoek at the moment is skills development, to really train people from the local communities and make sure that the people that make matric certificate and our workers, their kids, we must employ them.
The locals are also benefiting from the boom in tourism in Franschhoek. Tannie Ruth holds a tea garden as part of the Rond and Bond initiative. Everything that she makes comes from her garden and is homemade and served to her customers.
Actually, I'm more into crafts. And while working at the craft center in the valley, lots of people ask me, tourists coming in there, they want local foods. So they ask, is there no place in Franschhoek where they can eat local foods? And that gave me a thought. And I've talked to the people at Valley Tourism and they was willing to help me. And then I set up this tea garden and the response was very well, very, very well.
A recent documentary from Denmark cast a negative spotlight on South Africa's wine industry, which showed workers being unable to form unions and subjected to unethical labor practices. The CEO of Westgrove says they looked into the claims made by the documentary.
I think that importantly there's been a robust and immediate response from the provincial government to investigate the situation. And I understand that when they looked into it, they've got a zero tolerance approach. But actually the problem was not as it was reflected in the documentary. And I'm confident that the growth in the tourism potential of the winelands and the growth in the exports from the winelands will continue even as the provincial government takes a zero tolerance approach to any negative labor issues happening on the farms.
Franschhoek's most famous son is renowned chef Ruben Riffel, who has benefited from tourism in the wine town. He grew up in Franschhoek, which he describes as always being self-sustainable with religious church-going people.
But my biggest, interest, I would say, is really to bring a little bit more attention to the other side of Franschhoek, where there's also opportunities for people from Groendal, the community where I come from, to also benefit from the tourism industry. And I think there's more and more people that's within the industry currently that's also showing that interest.
It's the Cape Dutch gable architecture, like the house you see behind me, that has become synonymous with the Cape wine route. But the wine itself is something of exceptional taste and quality, a reason alone to visit the Cape. For Morning Live, I'm Kirit Lala, and cheers to you.